Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily UPS MCQ series. And for UPSC, this is an extremely important series, and on a daily basis, 7, 8, 9, 10 questions we are discussing on a daily as a daily issue, and explanations are important. And if you keep following it religiously till the examination, then it is going to be a huge compilation and huge addition in your knowledge, because these are current affair based questions, and I want your feedback also that how do you see these questions and what is the level of these questions. Please give me update about that. And 5th of July, and let's start the lesson. Important information is that Pocket News app is trending on number 1 by StudyIQ, so go to Google Play and download that. And important courses, affordable courses by StudyIQ. Below the video, all the description is given, all the numbers are also given. You can call on these numbers, and this is the website's address, and you can get the PDF on this Facebook group. And the StudyIQ's Telegram channel is there. There you get all kinds of PDFs, and for my lessons PDFs I upload these here and there also, and the Telegram's link is also given here. You can follow me on Instagram too. Question is regarding NEVF, Northeast Venture Fund. You see, venture capital is needed in starting of any kind of a big business venture, and for that venture capital is required. So Northeast area, very important sensitive area. Act East policy is going on, and there is a separate ministry for that, that is a donor ministry, and under that ministry there is a financial corporation limited, that is called NEDFI, Northeast Development Finance Corporation Limited, and under this NEDFI only this venture fund is created. And you see, this is the first dedicated venture capital fund for the Northeast region. And today also, when this budget is presented, 3,000 crore rupees are given to Northeast area. So that's an important update. And it is not under Ministry of Finance, it is under the same ministry, Ministry of Development of Northeast region. So this is wrong, and second is correct. Only two is the correct option here. B is the answer. Regarding NEVF, the details are given here. You can go through the PDF is uploaded already, and you can go through that after the video. So first dedicated venture capital fund for Northeast region, and this is Ministry of Development of Northeast region. In the ages of this ministry, this NEDFI is working, and it is established under that, and under that this Northeast venture fund is created. 25 lakhs to 10 crore rupees per project can be given here, but it is all the initiative and specific fund. Next, trade infrastructure for export scheme. In 2015, many important export oriented schemes we launched there. MEIS, SEIS for merchandise and services respectively, and this is trade infrastructure for export scheme. So it's is it a sub scheme? No, there used to be a side scheme, and it was for states, like they should create infrastructure and develop all these areas and all, and totally export oriented steps should be taken there, because export is the earner for any country, and bigger the export, richer the country is. All these developed countries, their exports are huge. China is growing because of its exports, so we need to support our exports there. So this scheme is important. TIES actually replaced this aside scheme, so that's important. Aside used to be a centrally sponsored scheme, and so is the TIES. So this is wrong, because it is not a sub scheme, it has replaced this aside. Next, TIES to enhance export competitiveness and bridging gaps in export infrastructure, creating focused export infrastructure, and viable funding is there. So that's important. That's a simple goal. 2 is correct. Third is wrong, because it is not 100% centrally funded scheme. As I told you, it's a sponsored scheme, and there are caps like 50% of the equity would be given at max by the center. So it is not more than 50%, and individual projects under it will not go beyond 20 crore rupees as a financial assistance. So that's the case. So third is wrong here. Only 2 is the correct option. B is the answer here. You can see it replaces this centrally sponsored scheme of aside. It was for the states, and now it is trade infrastructure for export scheme. Eligible projects are these centrally state agencies, sales authorities, export promotion councils. Some days back I was talking about the Ministry of Textiles export promotion councils. For cotton it was there, and for some other important groups export promotion councils are created. So that's important. And here assistance for setting up and upgradation of infrastructure should be there, means they will give assistance for setting up these projects and for infrastructural upgradation. So this money would be given there to all these eligible projects, agencies or boards. So that's the case. So they may ask you about anything like which are the eligible projects, and it has replaced aside, and 20 crore rupees is the maximum help that would be done. And for northern states, 50% maximum would be given, and for the hilly states like Himalayan states, northeast states, 80% can be given by center. Next, Central Education Institutions Bill. I talked about it for 2 years consecutively 2 days in my Hindu analysis lesson, and 2 days ago I was discussing this matter in much detail, so you can watch that video also if you have not watched it yet. So important details are there in that paper, and based on articles you get many informations and important knowledge, and on the basis of that you will write in the mains, you will write in the prelims examination, because options are taken from there. So if you want to improve your mains answer writing, then articles are the key. Articles are the most important issue. 85% questions, if you consider, then they are coming directly from these articles, daily articles that we are discussing. So in much detail we discuss these articles on a daily basis. So please do not miss those lessons. Follow both these lessons religiously, and here it is a prelims oriented session. So it is not just the economically weaker section. It is for all the reserved categories like SC, ST, OBCs and EWS now. So this is wrong. Second, purpose of the reservation, a department in a central education institute will be regarded as one unit. This is a wrong statement. Why? Because UGC brought a particular norm where it suggested that institution should be a unit, and taking institution as a unit, we will apply the reservation issue. Like 101 would be the unreserved seats and 99 would be the reserved seats. This is the way according to the reservation principle. So it's a 200-point system. Now what was the problem? According to that, because mandatory provisions were there in this system, so in some departments under the institution only reserved seats were coming, somewhere only unreserved seats were coming. So this was not a balanced notification every time. So that's why Allahabad High Court cancelled that, and it said that department should be a unit, and this way it should be balanced. But you see, when this 13-point roster system which took department as a unit, it created a lot of trouble. Why? Huge protests were there, because when you follow department as a unit and 13-point roster system, then minimum vacancies should be 7 to 14. Then only the seats for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes would be there in the notification, because according to the number system it would go like minimum 7 seats when they will come, then the 7th seat will go to the SC category and 14th number seat would go to the ST category. So that means if you want to apply the SC ST reservation, then minimum 14 seats should be there. So that was the case. Otherwise there was no meaning of reservation. They would have to wait for years, decades or more maybe, because most of the times not in the notification vacancies are less than 7 in these universities and the departments actually. So hardly 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maximum 7 vacancies they come, and for ST reservation at least 14 vacancies should be there, 13 vacancies should be there. So this is the way they followed it, and 13-point system, roster system was not logical according to the reservation principle, and that's why government brought a ordinance regarding that. And because Allahabad High Court upheld it like that, and Supreme Court also went with Allahabad High Court decision, and that's why they had to brought this ordinance. And now replacing that ordinance, they are bringing this bill, and this bill is cleared by Lok Sabha by a voice vote. As we all know, they have the majority there. So it is gonna maintain the 200-point system and the institution as a unit. This would be applicable according to this bill. So this is wrong, and this is also wrong, because it is not only about economically weaker section, it is about all the reserved categories, because it is applying the reservation there, and this is how 7,000 vacancies will be filled up there. So that's the case. D9 is the answer here. All these things are given as I told you. Please listen very, very carefully when I tell these things. Maybe sometimes I'm fast, so you can change the speed also in the player. Next, Henley Passport Index. It is regarding the power of a country's passport, a countryman's passport. You see, India is ranked at 86th number, 86th rank. According to that, 58, it is actually wrong because it is 86th. It is not 58th. 58 is the number of the countries where we can travel visa free, or visa on arrival facility would be available for Indians. So India's passport is not that much strong. The Japan, Singapore, their passports are very strong, means a maximum number of countries they can travel as visa free or visa on arrival facility. So it is available for them for around more than, I think, 180 countries are there where they can travel visa free, and similar is the case for US, UK, and their numbers are also very high, that almost all the countries they can travel visa free, because it is the label that the person is coming from American passport, then it's allowed. It's a normal case. Only some countries are there which are not allowing a visa on arrival or the visa free facility to Americans or Japanese or Singaporeans. So that's the case. But for Indians, it is only 58 countries in this world where we can travel visa free. So that's why our passport is not strong, and it is declared by Henley Passport Index, and they are taking data from IATA, International Air Travel Association, where most of the airlines of this world in all these countries, they are subscribed under it. So IATA gives this robust data regarding the real-time situation. So Henley Passport Index, it says India is at 86th rank and 58 countries are allowed for Indians. And in the last year, 61 countries were allowed and we were at 79th position. But this time we are at 86th position. So this is wrong and this is also wrong, because the data is taken from IATA. And ICAO, remember that ICAO is a UN's specialized agency. Okay, 15 specialized agencies are there, and it is among them International Civil Aviation Organization. And remember that for ICAO and IATA, both headquarters are there in Canada. That's the case. Quebec is the place where these headquarters are there. So D is the answer. D none. Datas are given here. You see, it was in 2006 when it started, and it used to be Henley Partners Visa Restriction Index. Then they converted it into Henley Passport Index in 2018. And in 18 we got 79th position, and this time 86th position. So we are not improving here, and 58 countries we are allowed as a visa free travel or the visa on arrival facility. Japan and Singapore, they have beaten Germany here. Germany used to be on the top spot, but now Japan and Singapore. Afghanistan at the lowest position, 109th rank. Just 25 countries Afghanistan people are allowed to travel as visa free. Okay. Next, Artemis program. Artemis program is not regarding non-communicable disease or conservation. It is regarding the issue of manned mission on lunar surface. You see, we discussed about LESA. LESA was Lunar Evacuation System Assembly, and that was in the emergency condition when people will be there on the lunar surface and any emergency is there, then this pyramid-like structure, the LESA, would be there to save them. So any other astronaut that can use that particular pyramid-like structure, LESA, and they would evacuate that person to nearby lander facility. So that was the LESA pyramid-like structure, and that was created by European Space Agency. Okay, it was made by ESA, but it would be used by NASA, where NASA's Artemis program, where they are planning that first woman in this world and the next male would be there on the lunar surface by 2024, and there these things would be used. And another experiment they did yesterday, day before yesterday, and that was launch abort system, and where they were checking that during the launch, if that crew would be there in a capsule, if that is blasted and that gets any kind of accident, then we will evacuate them. So that launch abort system was regarding that, and this this LESA by ESA will be used for evacuation on the lunar surface there. So two important experiments, and both are regarding this Artemis program. So this is NASA's manned moon mission Artemis program for 2024, and later they will use it for Mars mission also, manned mission. C is the answer. All details are given here. Launch abort system, and they tested it day before yesterday. Next, section 375 of IPC, Indian Penal Code 1860. In IPC, you see, rape is defined under section 375. This is perfectly correct, but it is not a gender neutral law. Only females are getting protection there. There is no protection regarding males if they are raped. So it's a situation, and you see, if the male is below 18 years of age, then POCSO of 2012 that would be applicable, and there some protection is there for males below 18 years of age. But if they are above 18, then there is no law protecting them. So that's a problem, and many groups are protesting against that. Now Home Ministry goes with this conservative opinion. They say that whatever is there right now, that is satisfactorily okay, and there should not be any change in that, because in India this is the situation, and here females are raped mainly, and if a male is raped, then the protection is available under 377. That is again controversial though, so that's the case, and 377 is no more criminalized, and that's why it's a problem there. So India's law are not gender neutral. This is wrong. Only one is the correct option here. You can see arguments, these are given here, that this should be upheld there, that there should not be any change in the 377 rape definition. Whatever is there, that is okay, and MHA's affidavit has been here as a response. But some groups, they say that this is not okay. Whole world is accepting that, and males are also at a lot of threat, and they are also raped. So there must be a law, and whatever law is there, that should be gender neutral, because rapes can be there for both males and females. And this is the text of section 375, and this is all given there. And you see, it is a marital rape that is also finding a mention here. It says that if sexual intercourse by a man with his own wife, and the wife is more than 15 years of age, then it would not be a rape. That's a problematic statement. And you see, it used to be 13 years earlier, and now it's 15 years, and that is again controversial, because according to the law in India, 18 years is the minimum age for females to get married. But here it says 15 years of age if there is for the wife, then it would not be a rape, and that's a problematic situation, because this is not justified in any case. And marital rape is also a controversial thing, and many debatable arguments have been there in the public domain. So that's section 375 of IPC. Next, section 124A of IPC. You see, many times we heard about 126 in last 4-5 months, where the election season was going on, and that was the 126 section of RPA Act, Representation to People's Act, RPA Act of 1951. So I confused you with ABC. These are related to RPAs. Okay, this is asking about 124A of IPC, and that is regarding the sedition charge. Sedition charge is a very controversial thing. In many of the constitution, it does not find any mention. In India also, in constitution it is not given, but in IPC it is finding a mention there, and that's a problematic thing, because it was brought up by Britishers at first, and Britishers wanted to crush all kinds of moves or conspiracies against their existence. So they were using the sedition law, and against some newspapers and all, they used this. But in India, it is used. Still it is used, and that's a problematic thing. It's a totally unjustified law, and many other provisions are there for their arguments that we want to save this country, we want to save India's integrity, and anti-racial people should not be allowed there, because the way Indian democracy, Indian society is moving, this is problematic, because majority and minority issues are there. Every day we hear these issues, that temple was attacked, that masjid was attacked. So these kind of things are really extremely dangerous. But people are behaving in this way. They are justifying these kind of issues. They are not understanding that this is all political, and this is all a divisive politics. And we're in a country where even ministers say that if somebody is not chanting a religious statement here, then that person should be thrown out of this country. So that's the case. That's a problematic situation, and people are justifying these kind of people, even they are sitting on the minister's position. So that's a situation, and that's why these kind of provisions, they become extremely problematic. That's the case. Okay, so it's a IPC's 124A sedition law, and it should be scrapped as earliest as possible. This is the argument in favor of that. Supreme Court also has done some readings here, and it says that this should be proved that violence has been there because of some provocation or something like that, and then you can use that in some emergency condition, but that was used very sporadically in recent past, so that's why it was problematic. Next, Article 112. You see, budget is presented today, and Article 112 talks about the annual financial statement, and that is normally called budget. But you see, the statement says that the term budget is mentioned there in Article 112. This is wrong. The term budget is nowhere mentioned. Although if they ask you that issues regarding budget, if they are mentioned in Article 112, then it is okay. But if they say that term budget is there, then it is wrong. Term budget is not there. And next is again wrong. Why? Because final receipts and expenditure, they are not final. They are estimates. They are just an estimate for the next upcoming year. Like it is the budget of 2019-20. Means that year is about to come. So that fiscal year, they would only make documents of estimates of all these expenditures and the receipts. They bring these estimates there that this much receipt we will have and this much expenditure would be done there. Final numbers will be there in distant future. After 2 years they will have the final numbers. First they will go for revised numbers, then they will go for final numbers. So it takes a lot of time to get the final receipts and expenditure numbers, but it is thus the estimate there. So it is the estimation of the receipts and the expenditure in the budget statement. So this is also wrong. D none is the answer. All the details are given here. This is the text of Article 112. Okay, annual financial statement, and it says that estimated receipts and expenditure. And the consolidated fund of India that is mentioned, that is under Article 266. We have consolidated fund of India. In 267 we have contingency fund of India. So these are very much relevant. Please read about them. And Lakshmikant's chapters are extremely important here, and which are the charged expenditures on CFI, this consolidated fund of India. We should know about that. All these salaries of speaker, deputy speaker, chairman, deputy chairman, and president salaries and all are coming from CFI. So you must know about that which are the provisions there. So read everything about that, and we will be talking about a lot of things. Thanks a lot. Keep watching. It was Amit Sani.